Jerry, are you considering trading Micah Parsons?
Well, let's put it like this. Surely you guys have been around this stuff and know to recognize negotiation talk, that type of thing, and so that's where I put that.
So are you considering it?
I'm not. At this, the facts are that that's like anything else. I think the world of Micah, and that's just a part of negotiation.
Would you ever consider trading Micah?
Again, I don't really place that with any real seriousness. Micah's got a bad back. That's like being traded.
I don't think anything that Jerry Jones says is a surprise to any of us at this point. And to be honest with you, he's not necessarily saying anything wrong. But I would say that Micah Parsons wants traded. I get it. He's not taking it seriously because he reveals this or, regards this as a negotiation tactic. To him, this is Micah Parsons just saying, give me my money, Brody. This is a common thing. This is a negotiation tactic. I'm not going to worry about it. I've seen it a million times. Look, man, I'm inclined to believe somebody when they say I want to leave, especially when it's over a financial dispute. The problem is, he talked about paying Dak and how Dak wasn't able to play all those games. The situation is simple. He paid Dak because he's concerned with the image of the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And Dak Prescott has a very clean image. And I don't think that a lot of people grasp that concept. And so because he paid Dak and then it backfired the way that he did, and he didn't get Derrick Henry and that backfired the way that it did, he didn't give the Dak or the money to Dez that he wanted. That backfired a little bit at least. Every decision he makes seems to backfire. And I think Jerry's kind of to a point where it's like, I am if I do, I am if I don't. And what's the real solution here? Well, the real solution is simple. You have a guy who's disgruntled. Now he's going to cause division in the locker room if you keep him around. Think he doesn't text people? Think he doesn't call people? Think he doesn't have other players' phone numbers? He can still be disruptive from the outside. He doesn't have to physically be at the stadium, at practice, in a film room, at weight training, any of that stuff to actually be an issue. You're going to have to trade him. There's rumors circulating about the Buffalo Bills, but at the end of the day, none of that really matters. The rumors and hearsay and all that, they don't matter. They're not needed. It doesn't matter what we think he is going to go, where we think he's going to go. The fact is, wherever it is, it needs to be done ASAP if I'm Jerry Jones. And if somebody says, I don't want to be here, then believe them. And if you think everything is a negotiation tactic, then what is it that you're doing then? He chose image over production, and that's the problem. And I know somebody's out there thinking, but how's he concerned about the image of the Dallas Cowboys when this guy's been in trouble, or he does this or he says that? Understand something. Jerry doesn't mind being talked about. And he doesn't mind being in front of the cameras. And he doesn't mind acting like he's a football coach. And he doesn't mind presenting himself as the end-all, be-all of football and negotiations. Remember, a season ago, he said, I'm the GM because nobody else can fill out this paperwork the way that I do. That's Jerry's entire thing. Nobody's better than me. What do you mean? I'm me. Have you heard of me? Don't you know me? Don't you know me? How can you not know me? How can you not know who I am? That's literally Jerry Jones. That's been that way since the fallout with Jimmy Johnson. That's a conversation that's been happening since the 90s. Look, it was with Barry Switzer. Dallas won their last Super Bowl. I was 12, 13? I'm 41 right now. I mean, this has been happening basically for 30 years. nothing has changed and nothing is going to change. And as long as he's the owner and GM and everything else he wants to be with the Dallas Cowboys, this is the state that they are going to continuously be in. Nothing will alter. Trade Micah. Get him out of there if he doesn't want to be there, Brody. He's treating it like a business, no different than any other GM or CEO or owner or anybody else has done since the inception of the NFL. And that goes for all leagues. Come on, man. NBA, homeboy was traded while he was sitting on a bench during a game. Hey, man, you've been traded. You got to go. What? As long as that is allowed, Micah Parsons can do whatever he wants to. I'm just saying. Hall of Fame talk. Right? Everybody's talking about Larry Fitzgerald and Jerry Rice and next year's potential group and Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. There are some very deserving names, some ones that I'm kind of like, word? Like Frank Gore. I mean, I guess if it's a numbers game, fine. For me, the biggest mystery has been for the last, I don't know how many years, Donovan McNabb. You can't change my mind. McNabb belongs in the Hall of Fame. And I don't know that there's an argument that anybody can present other than, well, he didn't win a championship. So what? Brad Johnson has a ring. Is anybody going to call him the greatest of all time? I'll wait. Are we going to put him top 10, top 15, top 20, top 30, 40, 50? We're talking just the quarterback position. How many quarterbacks would we put ahead of Brad Johnson? Trent Dilfer has a championship. I'm just trying to put it in perspective that the ring argument at some point has to become obsolete. Because when we're talking about individual greatness, we have to consider what that individual meant to that team. And I want everybody to remember that when the Eagles drafted Donovan McNabb, they were encouraged by everybody. In fact, the phone lines blew out at the mayor's office to get an endorsement from Ricky Williams from the fans. They wanted him so badly that that's the length that they were willing to go to. And when it didn't work out, they booed McNabb. How did Ricky Williams' career turn out, by the way? What did he average? 68 per? And then on top of that, he had one good season, and it wasn't with New Orleans who traded their entire draft to get him. It was with the Miami Dolphins. One good season, around 1,800 yards. McNabb was the better choice. That team had a losing record. They had one of the worst offenses in all the NFL. When McNabb took the reins officially in his second year as a starter, that team went 11-5, and their offense went from the worst in the NFL to the 12th in the NFL. And by the way, he was throwing to James Thrash. There is a pattern here that people don't seem to understand, especially with Andy Reid. The pattern is, with Donovan McNabb, he went to 5 NFC Championship games. With Donovan McNabb, he went to a Super Bowl. By the way, they made that Super Bowl without Terrell Owens, who shouldn't have been playing to begin with. Post McNabb, he would get to the playoffs, but he never got close to a Super Bowl. Then when he went to the Chiefs, they blew that huge lead against the Indianapolis Colts. It wasn't until he got number 15 that all of a sudden he made the Super Bowl. And even then, they got beat by the Patriots. Bad calls at the end of that game, but still, they got beat in Arrowhead. And nobody questioned whether or not Andy Reid was a football coach who couldn't get it done. It's a simple fact. Without McNabb and without Mahomes, he has literally never accomplished anything else. So if his offense was so prolific and he was so amazing, then how come literally with nobody else it could get the job done? 5 and 15 have literally saved this man's career. And before anybody steps to me trying to blame McNabb for what was going on in Philly, before T.O. showed up, even his own guy said, McNabb's not selfish. He doesn't act like a prima donna. They said that he doesn't have very good talent around him. They were debating on whether or not he could be the face of the NFL. All of a sudden, T.O. shows up. He wants another contract after he just got a brand new contract. The Eagles said, no, we're not paying you. Then he expected McNabb to go out on a limb for him. Why should McNabb put himself in that situation? You had one good season with us. You got hurt at the end of the year. I know that somebody's going to go, dude, but look how he played in the Super Bowl. He was more of a hindrance than he was a help. The numbers don't say so. There are players that have been mad about that Super Bowl and said McNabb was purposely targeting T.O. to basically get T.O. off of his back. And you can blame McNabb for the end of that game. Whatever it is, you could say he was drunk or nervous or whatever. He had the same problem at Syracuse. Go look at the Virginia Tech game. He threw up before that happened too. He clearly had other physical problems that went beyond, whether it was a stress thing or whatever it was. I'm just saying it was a repeated thing. And Terrell Owens, oh man, he was drunk. He was hungover. He was this. He was that. T.O. is never to blame for anything. He's thrown every quarterback he's ever had under the bus, and that includes, that's my quarterback, Tony Romo. He threw him under the bus later on too. Don't forget, he was on Fox Sports with Uncle Shay and Skip Bayless talking about, well, Jerry Rice is 1 and I'm 1A. And I never really had a quarterback that good. What? Somebody review the tape of Donovan McNabb and explain to me where he wasn't that good. And by the way, he rewrote the Eagles' record book and still holds almost every major statistical category passing record for the Philadelphia Eagles. Normally when that happens, that player automatically goes to the NFL Hall of Fame. So, I want to know where McNabb is not getting nominated. You know, don't forget, the only reason why T.O. is in the NFL Hall of Fame was because basically they gave in. It wasn't a numbers thing. They just didn't like his attitude, and he did exactly what they feared he would do, and that was he held his own ceremony. What was it, at Chattanooga, where he went to school? Because T.O. makes everything to be about him. If T.O. was at least an even decent teammate, most people would actually probably call him the GOAT. Man, there was a play with the Dallas Cowboys I will never forget. Oh boy catches the ball. T.O. is at least 15 to 20 yards behind. He runs out in front, makes a block, and then gets to the end zone before oh boy carrying the ball does. It was insane how good Terrell Owens was. But he just could not control himself. I ain't hurting the team. I ain't hurting the team. Oh, this wasn't my idea. This was Drew Rosenhaus. He told me to do this. He told me to become a distraction. Nothing is ever on him, man. Nothing. And if you ask me, they're both to blame. Him and McNabb are both to blame for the beef. If I'm going to put one side to it, I'm going to say it's 60-40 leaning T.O. They just couldn't get it together, and they destroyed that Eagles football team. And then by the time they finally got, what was it, Deshaun Jackson, by then McNabb was pretty much well past his prime. And I don't think he was taking football seriously anymore. And they'd got Mike Vick. I mean, come on. And maybe Andy Reid could have got somewhere with Vick if he stayed healthy. But even then, I'm just saying McNabb belongs in the NFL Hall of Fame. And there's literally no changing my mind. I mean, people act like Peyton Manning had McNabb's football team or something. Knowing darn good and well that Peyton Manning had one of the most stacked rosters of all time. It was consistently one and done. Oh, but the defense, are you kidding me? They gave up 24 points against the Patriots in a playoff game when Peyton Manning had 4 picks. Are you kidding me? It should have been 60-0. Guys, I am Drew Duncan. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan Radio. I am wherever you are listening to broadcast. Tell your device to play the Drew Duncan Sports Show, the Smoke Drew Duncan. Everybody stay safe, take care of yourselves, and have a wonderful rest of your night and or day.